Hey, what's up? How's it going? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be drawing some D&D characters, as the title of the video says. Drawing D&D characters is kind of how I got my start in art, or like what kind of inspired me to learn to draw in the first place, or teach myself how to draw. It plays a pretty big part in my life outside of all this art junk. I am a DM or dungeon master, game master, whatever you want to call it. So I do a lot of I would say custom drawing for my D&D campaigns and stuff. So that's how my art journey kind of, I would say overall started in a way. So doing stuff like this is pretty close to home. Fantasy art in general is, but especially doing these types of characters and these little scenes is kind of really what attracted me to learning to draw in the first place. And in this scene, we just have a little gnome character investigating this crystal ball in front of her, along with a fighter, or I think it's more of a paladin actually, because later on I add a holy symbol in there, kind of watching out for her while she takes a look at this artifact they found in this cave. But just a cool little scene here. This is definitely a drawing that I did just, I would say, more for fun, to be honest, and also to try out some new and different inking techniques I've been wanting to mess with. I would say this drawing is kind of a little bit more in a what my style currently is, and then a little bit more in I would say, quote unquote, what I would view as a traditional American comic book style. I have a bit of a anime influence in my artwork, but I also really enjoy things like Hellboy and the Marvel comics and DC and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of a little bit of, I guess, a style exploration here of mixing all those things together and seeing what happens. I also really wanted to play with negative space in this little illustration. So you'll see later on, I fill in most of this page with black, as they are kind of supposed to be in a cave. And so I just really wanted to play with lighting, hatching, using inking to convey light sources and rendering and all that kind of stuff. So this is a little bit more of an experimental piece for me, but I think it turned out really cool. I think it's actually one of my better drawings as of late, but it was just nice to have fun, to kind of turn my brain off and just find out how this would end up looking. And I think it ended up looking really cool. I think I'm going to definitely mix more of these techniques into not only the Wizard of Westford, like my webcomic, but also just into my style in general. I really like how, I would say, this is a little bit more, not simple is the wrong word, but just shapes and characters and things are more well defined in this little illustration than what I've typically been doing lately outside of it. I think I'm, like I said, basically just really going to bring a lot of these things in, and then you'll see later on I use that Pentel Presto whiteout pen in the top left of the frame here to add some whiteout in and kind of bring some highlights back into the piece as well. And then at the very end we'll do an ink wash. Regardless, here just adding some black shapes in. When I first started my artistic journey, like many artists, and even still, I was super obsessed with Mike Mignola and Hellboy. So a lot of my early artwork, and I'll see if I can put some in this video if I can find it, had a lot of black in it, and it did not look good just because obviously I'm not Mike Mignola. So his style doesn't really convey into me as a person that well, but I really respect obviously him as an artist, and the amount of contrast he has in his images. So I really was trying to add that in here into this image in my own way, in my own unique way, and how I would do it essentially. So that's kind of the focus of this drawing in general. These two characters are just here investigating this crystal orb. Kind of doing a different hairstyle here too on the paladin in the back. I don't typically do bushy curly hair. He has almost an afro-esque hair. But here, just kind of adding in the black background. I did leave some gaps in here on the right, just to kind of allude to the torch that this guy's holding, maybe reflecting off of a cave wall slightly, and then adding more, I would say, like harsh you know, fully blocked in blacks on the left side of the frame here, I guess, or the yeah, we'll call it the frame, just to, as you know, less light is hitting there. He's just kind of holding the torch up. It's shining off the walls, but it's not really hitting anything behind him just because, you know, lighting, that's how that works. But yeah, really pushing rendering here with inking and hatching and just feeling it out, enjoying, honestly, kind of making a big inky mess. And here, on the right here, you can see me practicing with the parallel pen, just kind of adding some interesting effects. That's a new pen that I just got, and you know, it definitely makes some really cool hatching lines. It is essentially a fountain pen, but the nib on it is completely horizontal, so it gives these very blocky shapes to the ink. It's pretty cool. I liked it. I definitely didn't use it in a huge way in this, but it's kind of my first foray into just seeing what it could do, and I definitely will be using it more. But here, adding in some whiteout to just add some shine, add some extra little highlight shapes in here, and just kind of play around, make a mess, calculated mess, I guess, and you know, make things look cool. That's kind of the whole point of my artwork, is kind of just make things look cool, you know, not only for me, but hopefully for you too. And here I sign it in the whiteout as well, which I thought was kind of funny. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Here at the very end here, we're taking a kind of a water brush and putting an ink wash over the piece, just adding in some extra little shadow shapes, and I would say more of a mid-tone to the piece in general, just kind of further accentuating the rendering and the highlights. And if you want to make your own ink wash just in a water brush like this, that's just super easy. I basically just fill this thing 50% of the way full with ink and then 50% of the way full with water, and then, you know, shake it around and you have your water brush. Generally, before I use it, every time I'll shake it around just to remix the mixture. It has thinned out a little bit, and I think the ink inside has kind of coagulated, I guess, for lack of a better term. It still works great. I definitely have to, like I said, like squeeze it out a little bit and get it flowing properly out of there, but it definitely has a really nice effect. It's also super fast and easy to use instead of setting up a whole paint palette with various ink tones. But yeah, this thing turned out pretty cool. I am going to do a part 2 where I color this digitally. For now, this is just an inking video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments and all that good stuff, and subscribe and like it and all that good stuff. I'm also thinking about opening up commissions, so if you'd be interested in that, let me know in the comments below, like D&D commissions, that kind of a thing. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the little illustration, and I'll see you in the next one.